backs collide. Both eyes were on the ball, just didn't quite get there. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Davies got there, and that's where the Tottenham players were a little bit upset. I wondered how high he'd caught him. I've just seen the replay of it. He doesn't really catch him. It was more the follow through from Ben Davies, which ran into Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that was what perhaps seemed to unsettle Ben Davies, and it was on the floor. But the referee recognised that it was a yellow card. He was a little bit unsure because there was a little bit of a delay. Players were going round the referee, perhaps thinking it may have been a red card. But looking at the replay again, I think the referee's got that one absolutely spot on.
And as you mentioned, both players were clearly having eyes only for the ball, weren't they? Fully committed to trying to win it. Here's the free kick that will follow. Christian Eriksen, right-footed from the left-hand side, curls it in just over the head of Eric Dyer. Couldn't really get a touch. It just brushed the top of his head, maybe on the way through to Loris Karius behind him. You do sense perhaps set pieces could be Spurs' best route back into this.
Yeah, and Liverpool held a good line 5 yards outside the penalty area, saying that it had to be a real good ball for somebody to get on the end of it.
Battle going on between Henderson and Son on the halfway line, and the Liverpool captain won it well and finds Andy Robertson space to search into. Forward from fullback, wide left now, takes the touchline Sadio Mane, takes the pass from Robertson, takes on Kieran Trippier looking for support. It's provided for him by Henderson. Back towards Mane again. Dembele going to close down his angles this time, and has forced Mane back towards the halfway line, where he seemed to go down very easily under the challenge of Dembele, but it is a free kick.
Staying tight there, Dembele to Mane in that position. He wasn't allowing him to get any kind of time to turn and be able to get away from him. Just caught him a little bit late. It was a free kick, nothing more.
Just off balance, wasn't he, Mane? And what's the decision from John Moss here? We're heading for the final minute of the first 45 already. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Plenty of your tweets have been coming in. Thanks for those. Haven't been able to get through too many of them, such has been the nature of this first half. You're West listening to us live on City FM in Ghana. From an Arsenal fan's point of view, hoping that this one will end up in a draw. We've got Matteo, another weekend, another work day on autos in Denver. Always listening to the Premier League coverage from us supporting Spurs today. We've got Dale Robertson in central Nebraska, USA. Approximately 4 degrees, minus 16 Celsius wind chill. Tweeted as a picture to match as well at TalkSport Live. Our Twitter address. Play back underway here with Tottenham trying to venture forward again down the left. Again, they're thwarted by the offside flag, and they are running out of time if they're to restore parity before half time.
Well, it's been an incredible first half, played at huge intensity by both sets of players. Thought it would be.
Liverpool free kick is a longer one, too long for Roberto Firmino this time. Lloris able to come and gather. Most of what he's had to do has been fairly routine. The Tottenham goalkeeper, for all the intensity of the contest, but of course beaten right at the start by Mo Salah, and it's that moment that still separates them on Merseyside. Jan Vertonghen for Tottenham, advancing towards halfway, then goes long, crossfield, left to right with that left foot. Kieran Trippier will bring it under control initially. Heavy touch though allows Robertson the chance to nick it away from him. Mane then will help him out and clear from the edge of the box, but back by Davinson Sanchez, although he's headed to nobody in particular. And Alexander-Arnold's actually content to let that one out of play and go for the Liverpool throw as we go into a solitary minute added on at the end of the first 45.
I think that's one thing that Spurs have with the centre-half. Vertonghen, left-footed, he can play that 50-yard ball out to the right-hand side where the full-back Trippier knows he can gamble and get forward and give them good width down there.
They've got Toby Alderweireld to come back into that defence as well. It was so important in the early part of the season and last year as well. And they finished second in Chelsea, not far from a return. Back to Lloris again. Salah putting the pressure on. Said that before in this first half. Trippier forward. Eriksen doesn't have a lot of room at all inside his own half. He's turned into trouble. Mane's taken it off. It breaks from Mo Salah. Back towards Mane, but too much on the pass from Mo Salah this time. It's just a little heavy for Sadio Mane. You can certainly see what he was trying, and had he weighted that well into the path of his fellow forward, it could well have been 2-0 right at the end of the first half.
An opportunity, wasn't it? Weight of pass by Salah was just too heavy. It would have been a goal-scoring opportunity for Mane, but Liverpool pressing high again. That's where they got the joy on that occasion. James Milner pressing high, won the ball back, and then Mane and Salah looking to link up.
It was the last opportunity of a fabulous first half, played at a frantic pace, but it's Mo Salah's early goal, less than 3 minutes in, which separates the sides. Half-time, it's Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Gets away from another, comes it into the top corner. It is a moment of Merseyside magic from Mo Salah. He's done it again, his 19th of the season.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
With the bow in the penalty area, dips one. Oh, that is a magnificent goal from Jermaine Defoe. Absolutely stunning from Jermaine Defoe.
Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Lanzini back to Arnautovic. He's inside the box. There is his first goal for West Ham. Arnautovic took it beautifully. He curled it low past Courtois.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Rolls it into the feet. Little layup. Arfield going to get punched back. 1-0. Arfield opens the scoring in the 45th minute. Burnley's strike against the 10th man of Watford.
Every game is covered.
Boy lifts it in left-footed. It's a deep cross. It's headed on by Meunier, and it's 2 for Meunier. Well, like London buses, the goals are now pouring in for Steve Meunier.
Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's Gale. Good shot, goal! Dwight Gale's put Newcastle level. Crisp low shot from the edge of the penalty area. Low pass, Schmeichel in a flag.
This is Premier League Live.
Crosses to Olivier Giroud. Equaliser for Arsenal, and as so often, Olivier Giroud off the bench to rescue Arsene Wenger.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game involves the two things in life you love the most:
Football and money.
Exactly predict 10 or more Premier League scores and win £1 million sterling.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game.
Register now at TalkSport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season. Win £1 million sterling.
£1 million.
Players must be 18 or over. See TalkSport.com/predictor for full conditions.
We're at half-time at Anfield between Liverpool and Tottenham, and so far it's Mo Salah that has made the difference. How often have we said that so far this season? This is the story at the first 45 minutes. And it breaks it for Mo Salah out of almost nothing, and he's scored already. Liverpool lead with just a shade over 2 minutes played. Mo Salah scores it. Their top scorer is 20 for him in the Premier League already this season. But really a gift of a goal in the manner that the ball broke to him on the edge of the penalty area. Tottenham just caught out and confused, and Salah is the man that has made them pay.
Oh, it's a dream start for Liverpool, and that man fighting for Salah with the finish. It's a defensive error. Dyer intercepts the ball from Mane. He's trying to get the ball back to Lloris. There's not enough pace on that pass, but look how alert Salah was. He's alert, he's quick to react, and he anticipates that ball. He's 1v1, he doesn't take it first time, takes a touch, he settles himself, keeps his composure. Lloris is on his line, and he can pick his spot, sends Lloris the wrong way. What a start this is for Liverpool.
Yeah, that goal coming in just the 3rd minute of the match. It does, though, remain the only goal of the match so far at Anfield. Neil Mellor, will your former side be a little frustrated maybe that is the case, or satisfied so far?
I think Liverpool will be absolutely delighted at half-time. They've got themselves in front. We mentioned about the importance, the significance of this sort of a game against your rivals, and the fact that we talk about Tottenham being such a good side going forward. They've only had one shot on target in that first half, and I think that'll be a really pleasing element for Liverpool. They've looked dangerous, they've got in good areas, but they haven't really created or opened up that Liverpool defence, whereas Liverpool, they've pressed high, got in Tottenham's faces, and probably haven't been clinical enough in the final third to perhaps have got that second goal.
They got the opener so early in the game. Mo Salah only needs half a chance like that, doesn't he? A glimpse of goal, and you generally know what the outcome is going to be.
Well, it looks a simple finish because he gets in that position, he's 1v1 with Lloris and he scores, but the reason he gets it is because he's anticipating, he's thinking there's going to be a mistake by Tottenham defensively, and there was, and if you are that optimist, you are alert, you're going to get those opportunities, and that's where he gets his opportunities. Dyer doesn't put enough on the back pass, he intercepts it really well, but he keeps his composure. So many times you see players maybe snatch at that opportunity, take it first time, he doesn't. He takes a touch, sets himself, and that's where he can keep his composure to fire it past Lloris.
They come flying out of the blocks at the start. The fact that they did get their reward so early with that goal from Salah, has that had an effect on the game that's followed or not, do you think?
well, it's been end-to-end. We spoke about the intensity, high intensity, and we know both sides like to cover a lot of ground, but it's the sprints, the amount of quick sprints. Liverpool putting pressure on high, Tottenham putting pressure on high, and it really hasn't disappointed. The only thing you would say is that there's more to come from this Tottenham side in the second half, in the attacking third, and Liverpool need to be mindful of that. If they can get that second goal, it may well prove to be a big difference, but at the moment at 1-0, Tottenham will certainly believe that they're very much in this game.
Much was made beforehand of the potential shootout really between Salah and Kane, the top two scorers in the Premier League. Mo Salah, as we've mentioned, getting his goal right at the start. Harry Kane hasn't really had a sniff in front of goal yet, has he?
He's been quiet. I think you can give Liverpool credit. Liverpool have gone with a three-man midfield, which are all comfortable in sitting positions in midfield. Milner, Henderson and Emre Can. There's no real player in there where you'd say he has that tendency to have a more attacking urge to get forward. The three of them have protected Liverpool's back four extremely well, and the full-backs as well. That's where Tottenham got a lot of joy against Liverpool early on in the season, with the full-backs both playing too high. This time with Robertson at left full-back, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right full-back. They have been disciplined and not allowed Spurs to get any kind of time and space for the likes of Harry Kane to utilise and make the most of.
Do you think, therefore, that Mauricio Pochettino will be looking to change anything up even as early as half-time? Not necessarily in terms of personnel, but the way that they're going to approach the second half?
Well, maybe. Liverpool have got a lot of joy by pressing high, but Spurs repeatedly keep wanting to play out, That's the way they believe, but they're going to get caught out. And Liverpool are going to get another opportunity, and that's where they have to be mindful. Spurs have looked a threat, and I suppose that's the surprising thing, that they've only had one shot on target. So I think Pochettino will believe that his attacking players are capable of turning this game round and certainly getting back into it with a goal.
They played the game against Manchester United in midweek very much on their own terms, didn't they? They really dominated that game. I know it's been a tight turnaround for everybody with the midweek round of fixtures in the Premier League, but do you think the recovery time has cost Spurs a little bit, and the evidence of the first 45 or not?
Possibly. I think there is perhaps an argument for that, because it's a midweek game. They played against United. The difference has been against United don't press high. United didn't ask them a great deal of questions, and Tottenham were in complete control of that game, creating a number of chances. The difference is, against Liverpool, you have attacking players who will press high and who do have quality in the final third, and that's been the big difference, and they've had to be mindful of that. And Liverpool have asked questions of those Tottenham defence, certainly much more than United did midweek.
But as you say, at 1-0, Spurs will certainly still feel that there's every chance for them in this second half. So I guess therefore Liverpool's approach would be same again and try and score that second goal.
Yeah, Liverpool will want to be clinical when they get those opportunities, but as you say, Tottenham at half-time won't be too disappointed that they are still very much in this game. They have to be mindful of Liverpool's attacking players, but they will have the belief that with their attacking players they can ask more questions of Liverpool defensively, and in particular Karius, who only was called into action with that one Dembele effort, which you would expect to see him make.
Big second half in store, certainly. Liverpool leading by a goal to nil at the break, but it finished all square at Selhurst Park in the first game of the day in the Premier League. Crystal Palace coming back from one behind at home at half-time. Ode Ahmed put Newcastle in front, and Milivojevic with a penalty levelled it up for Roy Hodgson's side. He rescued a point, but he says he's got mixed feelings about the performance.
After the first half, coming in 1-0 down, and the way we were playing in the first half, I would certainly have taken it. After watching the second half and watching us, dominate the game as we did and create even more chances in the second half, the teams were unlucky not to have got all 3 points in the end.
1-1 the way it finished at Selhurst, so still 2 points between Crystal Palace and Newcastle, 14th and 16th respectively in the Premier League table after that. 2 points of course between Liverpool and Tottenham coming into this one as well, a key game in the race for Champions League qualification. Liverpool with the early advantage. That Mo Salah goal is the strike that separates them at half-time at Anfield. And as we say, a huge second 45 minutes on the way to see if Liverpool can get the job done or if Tottenham can come back from behind and rescue something here. Stay with us to find out. 1-0 Liverpool at the break. Second half next. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Gets away from another. Comes it into the top corner. It is a moment of Merseyside magic from Mo Salah. He's done it again. His 19th of the season.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
Defoe in the penalty area. Dips one. Oh, that is a magnificent goal from Jermaine Defoe. Absolutely stunning from Jermaine Defoe.
Full commentary, pre and post match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Lanzini back to Arnautovic. He's inside the box. There is his first goal for West Ham. Arnautovic took it beautifully. He curled it low past Courtois.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Rolls it into the feet. Little layup. Arfield can get punched back. 5 minutes. 1-0. Arfield opens the scoring in the 45th minute. Burnley's strike against the 10th man of Watford.
Every game is covered.
Boyd lifts it in left-footed. It's a deep cross. It's headed on by Meunier, and it's 2 for Meunier. Well, like London buses, the goals are now pouring in for Steve Meunier.
Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's Gale. Good shot, goal! Dwight Gale's put Newcastle level. Crisp low shot from the edge of the penalty area. Low pass, Schmeichel in a flag.
This is Premier League Live.
Crosses to Olivier Giroud. Equaliser for Arsenal, and as so often, Olivier Giroud off the bench to rescue Arsene Wenger.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game involves the two things in life you love the most.
Football and money.
Exactly predict 10 or more Premier League scores and win £1 million sterling.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season. Win £1 million sterling.
£1 million.
Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
Welcome back to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Tottenham Hotspur from Anfield. I'm your host Phil Blackett. Alongside me is the former West Ham, Preston and Liverpool striker Neil Mellor. You are listening to Premier League Live. We await the start of the second half here. Liverpool leading Tottenham by a goal to nil. Mo Salah, Liverpool's top scorer, the Premier League's second top scorer behind only Harry Kane in the opposing ranks today, with the only goal in just the third minute of the match. Liverpool did have chances to extend their advantage. Tottenham looking at an attacking threat without creating too much, Neil Mellor, really, in that first half.
No. We mentioned about Tottenham's attacking players, and certainly Harry Kane, who's been in absolutely superb form this season. Looking for that supply from Eriksen, Son and Ali just behind. Been in a couple of good positions where perhaps that final ball, that decision making has let them down on a couple of occasions, and they've really struggled to open up this Liverpool defence, which has been really organised. Now we're talking about what needed to improve for Liverpool this season. Centre half. Liverpool identified that in the January transfer window by bringing in Van Dijk. He didn't play midweek against Huddersfield, but I think in that first half performance we saw the importance and the quality he brings to that defensive unit. A couple of times vital interceptions, that leadership skill he has back there. So I think we've seen, when he's been tested against the best, which Harry Kane is in the Premier League, how we can handle that first half.
Certainly needed to show that today after early question marks were raised, weren't they, with the performance against Swansea, that disappointing defeat that Liverpool suffered, but they're shutting out Spurs and Harry Kane so far today. Teams on their way out for the start of the second half. Let's remind you of the lineups. Loris Karius in goal for Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Lovren and Robertson the back four. Milner, Henderson and Chan in midfield. Salah, the goal scorer. Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane the front three. Tottenham with Hugo Lloris in goal. Trippier, Sanchez, Vertonghen and Davis. Dyer and Dembele. Eriksen, Dele Alli, Son and Harry Kane. It will be Spurs to get the second half started. White shirts, blue shorts, white socks from left to right as we look at it in this second period against Liverpool, of course, all in the red at Anfield with that 1-0 lead to protect or potentially try and build on it. It will be fascinating to see how they approach it from here. I guess, as we alluded to at half-time, as far as the home side are concerned, they'll simply try and do what they have been doing.
Yeah, and as Spurs look to try and get that equalising goal, that will open up the chances for Liverpool on the counter-attack to try and open up that Spurs defence.
Longer ball forward from Robertson, the Liverpool left-back is up towards Roberto Firmino, and the clearance from Sanchez falls at his feet. Not a good one. It's out towards Mo Salah on that right-hand side. Vertonghen steps in to win the challenge. Salah nudges it back for Alexander-Arnold to try and hoist it in. He had Roberto Firmino far post in the middle, but it's comfortably cleared the crossbar. Yeah,
it was a disappointing cross in the end by Trent Alexander-Arnold. He was unopposed. He saw Firmino in that far post area, and unlike the first half, which I thought his delivery was outstanding at times, just let himself down on that first occasion to put a good ball into a dangerous area.
A couple of excellent deliveries in the first half, didn't he? The Liverpool right back, 9th Premier League appearance of the season in the absence of Joe Gomez today. Out on by Dyer for Eriksen inside the centre circle. We'll slip it out to Ben Davis, forward from fullback down the left-hand side. He almost ran into Harry Kane, actually. He comes away with the ball for Spurs, albeit on the halfway line, but he sneaked it into a little bit more space for Son, taking on Milner. Still support from Davis outside of him, wide on the Tottenham left now, in towards Dele Alli in the middle. Just too far in front of him, though. Down Swanson, straight through for Lloris Karius.
Very deep, wasn't he, Harry Kane, picking that ball up. His positions in that first half, he was fairly deep, picking up the ball, looking to maybe play the ball in for movement ahead of him. And what was interesting is he tried to play that 1-2 on that left-hand side for Spurs. He ran past Emre Can. Emre Can has to be more disciplined than that as a defensive midfield player, because if you're running off, one of someone like Harry Kane can get in a bit of space, and that's where the danger can happen.
We saw a graphic in the first half with the average position on the pitch, and Harry Kane had been playing very, very deep behind both Eriksen and Son, really, in that first 45. Symptomatic maybe of his attempts to get into the game. Frustration that he hasn't quite been getting the service so far. Emre Can will loft it out towards Mo Salah on the Liverpool right. Davis with a first time emphatic, acrobatic left-footed clearance, which will go out of play for the Liverpool throw. Just foots them back into their own territory, though, before Alexander-Arnold can get hold of the ball and take this throwing. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Liverpool leading Tottenham by a goal to nil on Premier League Live. At TalkSport Live, our Twitter address. It's into the feet of Roberto Firmino on the halfway line. Emre Can's underneath it. Scoops it out to his left, where Robertson has all sorts of space in which to work. Knocks it down, and then forays forward down that left flank. Sadio Mane helps it on towards James Milner. Gets it back again from Milner. Closed down by Dyer. Sanchez with the challenge on Robertson. Kane's able to come away with it, but again he's deep inside his own half. Robertson got back to him. He had Henderson blocking off his route further forward as well. Spurs have to settle for the throw.
Needed to double up there on Harry Kane and look for a moment. Tottenham may be in a position to have a counter-attack. Henderson delayed him, and then Robertson came back and made the challenge.
Kieran Trippier waiting to take this throw on halfway right in front of Jurgen Klopp, who's patrolling the edge of his technical area at the moment. Van Dijk dealt with the throw. There's a touch from Milner, a clearance from Robertson, a real up and under as well, where Vertonghen gets the better of Roberto Firmino in the air. Comes down on the centre spot, really. Eriksen was beaten in the air by Emre Can. It now falls at the feet of Christian Eriksen. He's away from Henderson as well, who did just manage to fling out a foot and nick it away. It looked like Eriksen had got past him. A longer ball forward by Liverpool for Mo Salah, and again Vertonghen is their safety first clearance into the stand for the throw.
But it's a vital interception at the other end from Jordan Henderson, because I thought for a moment Eriksen may just be wriggling away from him.
Like it, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's where he's at his best, because he had space in that final third, and he may well have been in a position to create an opportunity for Henderson getting that vital interception to stop him.
Back down the line go Liverpool from the throw all the way back actually to Lloris Karius in goal. That's plenty of purchase on the clearance, right-footed. Mane was beaten in the air by Kieran Trippier. Henderson's won it well against Eric Dyer, the England colleagues in the centre of the midfield. Jordan Henderson is still going his wide left now. Trippier, also part of that England party, trying to go with him. Dembele with work to do on the edge of his own penalty area, under pressure from Roberto Firmino. Dembele comes away with the ball, doesn't get too far. He wrote the challenge of Roberto Firmino, but it was nicked off him by Sadio Mane, who then goes to ground. Eriksen's challenge, I think, on midway inside the Tottenham half there. Fairly central position, a useful position for Liverpool.
Well, Dembele was guilty of taking too many touches. You can't take too many touches 5 yards outside your penalty area. As we said in the first half, Liverpool are pressing high, they're putting them under pressure. You take an extra touch, you're going to get caught on the ball, and that's what happened to Dembele.
Pressure is paying, isn't it, in that respect? 5 minutes into the second half, Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. James Milner stands all alone over the free kick. Tottenham assemble a two-man defensive wall initially in front of the D, and then everybody else beyond them on the edge of the penalty area. Milner will take it towards the far side of the box, right-footed. Lovren wins it in the air. Sanchez with the clearance, got a little lucky in that it fell to Son to try and help it further clear. Alexander-Arnold looking to return it as well. It was an awkward bouncing ball for him and directs it straight through to Lloris, but Dyer's turned into trouble again. Too casual on the edge of his own penalty area. Mane took it off him, and Spurs were fortunate there that Roberto Firmino wasn't able to make more of it. In the end, it's got it back to Hugo Lloris, but Eric Dyer gets away with one.
Well, they're not learning the lesson, Spurs. We said first half, Liverpool have pressed high. They need to change this. Maybe take less touches. They're not. They're taking that extra touch. Liverpool still winning the ball back in very, very dangerous areas, which is going to be a problem for Spurs.
Dyer, of course, caught out right at the start by Salah's early goal. Still the difference. Tottenham survive another scare, and now they advance through Ben Davies. Just got it caught under his feet there on the touchline there. Actually, it has gone Liverpool's way. It was an unfortunate moment for Davies. They found him in a promising position, although again he was very quickly closed down, as virtually everybody's had the ball to feet in White has been so far today. 51 and a half on the clock. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0 on Premier League Live. You get to keep those tweets coming in if you predict which way it's going to go. We'll try and read out the best of them in the second half at TalkSport Live. Could still go either way.
Yeah, I think Liverpool have shown times this season that defensively they haven't been, well, they've been vulnerable at times, but I think Van Dijk has been a good addition. The first half was excellent.
Dele Alli through the centre, out towards Ben Davies, left hand side, first time ball. Christian Eriksen turns and fires it goal. It's just over Harry Kane. Either really a cross nor a shot in the end from Christian Eriksen, but almost out of nothing, Tottenham suddenly found themselves with options in the final third.
A lot of space down the left hand side. Ben Davies, we spoke before about Salah and Mane having to get back and do the defensive duties. They don't there. Davies can cross the ball, and the concern was Eriksen, with the sharpness he has and the cleverness he has, he gets away from Emre Can a little bit too easily there with the half turn, and his delivery just a yard or so in front of Harry Kane.
From Son, Van Dijk with the clearance will reach halfway. Vertonghen goes all the way back to his goalkeeper here. Tottenham Hotspur Ghana has tweeted us saying we can turn this around if we get our tactics right. Sub Eric Dyer and bring on Wanyama. Emmanuel's a Chelsea fan. Like an Arsenal tweeter we had earlier, hoping that this one ends in a draw. Needs Firmino and Kane to get amongst the goals. I would imagine for Fantasy League purposes. Robin Michael Thomas saying if a tennis player can go 5 sets over 3 and a bit hours in hot sun, then play again 2 days later, why can't Premier League players play 3 times in a week? So it's an age-old argument, I guess, isn't it? Here's Dele Alli for Tottenham taking over in the meantime. Liverpool have quickly got bodies back behind the ball in towards the feet of Christian Eriksen. Edge of the box, further forward on the right is Kieran Trippier. Plays it back infield towards Dyer. Touched it into the path of Eriksen again. Henderson is with him. And Vertonghen working it wide left now. Ben Davies, better spell for Spurs, but is there anything at the end of it? Liverpool are working equally hard without the ball. Davinson Sanchez now on halfway. This is the way that these two teams play in particular that makes it more difficult to maintain this sort of tempo. Tottenham have given it away at the end of all that. It's played forward for Mo Salah to take on Vertonghen, who's backpedaling on the edge of the penalty area. Salah did have support from Emre Can, making a run to his right, tried to find him. Vertonghen able to cut it out. There just wasn't quite enough conviction from Liverpool at the end of it, but it all sparked again from Spurs giving it away. Yeah, Firmino, good pressure, giving the ball away to Jordan Henderson. The speed of his pass, quick pass to Salah, and that's where the opportunity was. 1v1 didn't make the most of that, Liverpool. Now Eric Dyer for Tottenham, floats it forward, looking for Harry Kane, is forced wide on the left. It will reach Kane, and by the time he gets there he's almost on the left touchline. Davies goes back infield towards Christian Eriksen again. Eriksen plays it through where Kane had continued his run towards the middle, read by Lovren and cleared as far as Vertonghen on halfway. But Tottenham are applying more pressure here, Liverpool getting deeper. There's Dembele inside the centre circle. 10 minutes of the second half on the clock. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Game that could have such significance in the race for Champions League qualification this season. Here's Kieran Trippier, crossfield ball finds him. Trippier's ball is behind Dembele though, so he has to track back to maintain possession. Pressurised by Mane, finds Dyer. Trippier back towards Eric Dyer, takes it in his stride, and then does have time to set himself for the cross, which is high and hoisted and over the head of Harry Kane. Led away by Alexander-Arnold to Vertonghen on halfway. Tottenham will start again. It's all the way back to Lloris, but they're bossing the ball just at the moment.
Good pressure. They're seeing plenty of the ball, just over 60% of the ball, but not creating that opportunity.
Dele Alli slips it wide. Ben Davies tries to deliver first time. It's blocked partially by Alexander-Arnold. Spins away off his shoulder in towards the middle. Cleared this time as far as Dele Alli again, right on the edge of the penalty area. On the Tottenham left, Alexander-Arnold wins the first challenge against Dele Alli. Goes flying into the second challenge against Ben Davies as well. And sees the ball balloon behind. I think in his favour actually. Goes for the goal kick.
Well, it's Tottenham at the moment seeing all the ball on the front foot, trying to get that equalising goal, and that's where they're vulnerable. Because they're seeing so much of the ball, getting in good areas, which Liverpool are defending really well at the moment, but they're vulnerable to the counter-attack because of the pace of Mane, because of the pace of Salah, and that's where Liverpool will look to try and get this next goal, as Spurs look to try and get the equaliser.
So finely balanced, as we say. It's Liverpool looking to fashion an opportunity here. It was launched long, but Henderson had to stretch for it inside the centre circle. Robertson therefore needed to retreat back into his own half to pick up possession. Does float it forward now, left-footed. Sadio Mane going up for it with Kieran Trippier in the air, and the decision goes against Mane. It will be a Spurs throw, final touch off the Liverpool man to his frustration. Trippier has ball in hand level with the edge of his own penalty area. Spurs 2 points worse off than they were at this same stage last season. Liverpool a point better off. They are having very different seasons respectively. Forward by Dembele towards Dele Alli, who'll try and chase it down. Lovren will shepherd it back to Karius, knowing that his goalkeeper was coming off his line to get there first on the edge of his area.
Probably one of the best examples we've seen of a real leader from Liverpool defensively. Van Dijk screaming at Karius, come and get that ball. Liverpool haven't had that centre half since Jamie Carragher.
There's a little flick from Dele Alli. Son is in behind, into the penalty area. Carries quickly off his line again. Saves quickly at the feet of Son. It breaks for Dele Alli to try and return it. And it's whistled just wide of the near post. Spinning to strike it first time, right-footed, flashed wide. But it's the save from Karius to deny Son that has preserved the Liverpool lead here.
Lovely flick from Dele Alli into Son. He's onside. Van Dijk plays him onside on that far side of the penalty area, and he's in 1v1. It's a little bit of a tight angle, it has to be said, against Karius. He takes that touch. Karius races out to put him under pressure and makes a very brave, important save there.
Well, Son would have backed himself given the form that he's been in recently. You would have thought started 12 Premier League games in a row now, and he scored 6 goals in that spell, 4 assists as well. He did score in the 4-1 win for Tottenham at Wembley against Liverpool when they last met back in October. This is a good spell for Tottenham. Here they come through. Trippier again in towards Harry Kane. The whistle has gone though, because Kieran Trippier was caught just after he released that ball in towards Kane, and for the challenge on him, the yellow card is coming out from John Moss. It was Milner, wasn't it, trying to get back, that missed the ball and got a whole lot of Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, he mistimed his challenge there, James Milner. Trippier came forward down the right hand side, and as he delivered the ball in to Harry Kane, he caught him late, James Milner. To be fair to the referee, saw it straight away, gave the decision for Spurs, and also a yellow card for Milner.
Milner into the book, joins Alexander-Arnold. In that respect is the 2 cautions so far, but Trippier is still down as a result of that challenge. He's holding his right ankle, being attended to by the Tottenham medical team at the moment. They do have Sergio Aurier, of course, as an obvious like-for-like replacement on the bench. But not a change that Mauricio Pochettino would want to have to make at this stage.
It was his ankle. He seems to be holding at the moment to get caught in the turf as the challenge was made.
He's back on his his feet now, Trippier, moving very gingerly towards the sideline for further treatment. Tottenham will temporarily be down to 10 as they take the free kick, won by Trippier. Eriksson stands over it. Half a dozen Tottenham players lurking on the edge of the penalty area. Eriksson's got near post, comes through towards Kane, free header. Looked to see if the flag had gone up there, Harry Kane, because he'd completely evaded the attention to the Liverpool defence, only to put it straight at Loris Karius.
It was a big chance, wasn't it? It was an awkward height for him, but he heads it down. Karius has to make the save. I wondered if the flag was raised or not. Liverpool played it very quickly.
I think even Harry Kane was expecting it to go up, but I don't think it did the way that the officials let play continue there. Now Tottenham have taken a free kick very quickly, having could have a chance at the other end for Mane, who was almost in by a through ball. Instead it's up towards Harry Kane again, right in with Van Dijk. He wants it down to his own goalkeeper. Liverpool try and play out from the back. Alexander-Arnold down that right hand side has just mishit it. Didn't have a lot of room in which to work there, so it sails away from Mo Salah for the Tottenham throw, heading rapidly for the hour mark. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. It's been that way since the third minute of the match, but Spurs sensing that this is a spell that they have to make count.
Yeah, it's been a good spell second half for Spurs. They've controlled the game, controlled possession of the ball, and they're the side creating the opportunities. Liverpool haven't created anything this second half.
There's Dembele inside the centre circle. Dyer to his right hand side helps it further wide for Trippier, back on the field now, still not moving particularly freely after that earlier Milner challenge. Sanchez goes infield towards Vertonghen. Dembele again picking up possession inside that centre circle, finds Christian Eriksen just ahead of him. Wide on the left hand side, Ben Davies taking on his opposing fullback Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's stuck very tight to him, got the block in there for us as soon as Davies tried to deliver it from the touchline and has to settle for a throw.
Well, that's where Salah needs to give him more support, because Trent Alexander-Arnold is on a yellow card and he can't afford to be 1v1 isolated. He needs that support from his wide man Salah.
Davies with the throw goes infield to Dembele. He's away from Salah. A little touch from Dyer again for Jan Vertonghen. Now Christian Eriksen. They've worked it again for Ben Davies. First time ball side-footed into the path of Son, right on the corner of the penalty area. The Spurs left, taking on Henderson. Delivers deep, and it's Van Dijk who just nods it away from danger. Karius in goal for a moment was almost caught unawares, but Virgil van Dijk using his experience to just to turn it away from trouble.
Well, commanding defending at the far post. He dealt with the situation very well, played it behind for the corner.
There's a sequence of these did Spurs in the first half. It's their first after the break, their fifth of the game. Left by Ben Davies on the Tottenham right for Christian Eriksen to take in towards that near post. Dembele stretching to try and reach the bouncing ball, couldn't quite get his shot away. Sanchez looking to return it, but has cleared it only into the path of Mane, and now Liverpool will look to counter with Mo Salah. Sanchez has got back to him and held up Salah's progress on the touchline to the extent actually that he's taken the ball away from him, and Dele Alli is able to take it on for Tottenham, running now at Alexander-Arnold. Henderson in there as well, snapping at his heels. Down goes Dele Alli. Free kick given in Tottenham's favour, conceded by the Liverpool captain. The pace is unrelenting.
Well, that's where Liverpool have that threat. From Tottenham's corner, Liverpool have the threat of the counter-attacking ability. Mane, better ball, Salah's in 1v1 in goal, and that's what Spurs, because they're pushing for this equalising goal, have to be mindful of that threat.
There's activity on the Liverpool bench as well. Looks like a double change could be in the offing, but not before Spurs have taken this free kick. Davies is going to leave it for Christian Eriksen. In right foot, it just needed a touch. Kane sliding in there was the closest to applying it. Well, he suddenly is getting much closer, but couldn't get his studs to it. Through to Karius he goes, and Liverpool's lead remains intact.
Well, Liverpool are looking at the linesman. Is it offside? Seen a replay. Harry Kane is in a yard offside position. Liverpool defenders complain because there was no flag that came up. I don't think it would have been given.
That's twice in quick succession now that Kane's almost got in behind and immediately looked towards the flag, which didn't come. 63 on the clock. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Christian Eriksen forward. Dele Alli. Son and Kane ahead of him. Ali plays it to his right, and Kieran Trippier joining in from fullback. Good ball by Trippier. Out by Dejan Lovren. Return by Dyer. Here's Dele Alli. Mane's down for Liverpool, just in front of that penalty area. It's worked wide right by Spurs for Trippier to take on Robertson, who stands his ground without committing to the challenge. Mane's back on his feet, goes flying in against Sanchez. Nobody really can get hold of the ball here, or certainly get control of it. Firmino back to Robertson to try and clear. Milner helps it on. Sanchez just behind him, clatters into him, and James Milner uses his experience maybe to win the free kick and just earn Liverpool a bit of respite, bit of breathing space, and the chance actually to make this double change as well.
Yeah, it's going to be when the Alderman and Oxlade-Chamberlain coming in, freshen things up a little bit in those midfield positions. So dominating, controlling possession of the ball, getting more joy, building pressure on that Liverpool defence, and the manager recognising that a change needs to be made.
It's Jordan Henderson that's making way first. The Liverpool captain will hand over the armband to James Milner. Henderson, of course, only just really returning to fitness after a month out with a hamstring problem. And Sadio Mane is the other man to make way. So Oxlade-Chamberlain, for the 14th time in the Premier League this season since his move from Arsenal to Liverpool, comes off the bench, and Jorginho Wijnaldum, until recently a regular starter, also on as a sub for the closing quarter of the contest.
Well, I think it'll be like for like. Wijnaldum will come in midfield position for Henderson, and I think Oxlade-Chamberlain will be in a wider position. He has played centrally for Liverpool a few times, but yeah, he's just come on and he's going to be operating in that left-hand position, which quite obviously.
Impressed Indy with that goal against Manchester City, as they became the first, still the only side to beat the league leaders in the Premier League this season. Oxlade-Chamberlain is on. There was a high foot from Ben Davies against Mo Salah as they battled for a bouncing ball over on the far side. So it is a Liverpool free kick. Salah and Milner again stand over it. Favourable angle here to deliver into the danger area, where Van Dijk is up from the back. Salah steps over it. Milner is going to take, headed out by Dele Alli, and as far as Oxlade-Chamberlain, his first touch there, fell at his right foot trying to get the shot away. It was comfortably blocked by Spurs, who had a wall of white really behind the ball, and they forced Liverpool all the way back to Karius.
First opportunity, first touch for Oxlade-Chamberlain, shooting position outside the penalty area. It was Harry Kane who blocked it, protected it, going goal bound towards Lloris.
Turned by Emre Can from inside the centre circle. Davinson Sanchez has it for Spurs. Now with Trippier. As it stands, remember, Liverpool leading by a goal to nil, would move 5 points clear of Tottenham in the race for Champions League qualification. How much is riding on the outcome at Anfield today? But every bit as tight, though, at times as you would expect, given the respective seasons that they've had so far up to this point. Both with commitments to come very shortly in the Champions League as well. Liverpool go to Porto, and Tottenham to Juventus week after next. Cut out by Van Dijk here, but only into the path of Dele Alli, trying to slip it free for Kane down the middle. Very congested through the centre though, as Dejan Lovren gets it away to halfway. There's still a long time to go in this game, more than quarter of the game yet. And Tottenham still continue to ask the questions, getting closer. Eriksen infield, bit of space for Eric Dyer. He shifts it first time out for Trippier, wide on the right, taking on Robertson up towards the edge of the penalty area. Robertson again denies him the angle to get the cross in, so it's infield instead to Eric Dyer. Back for Kieran Trippier again. This time he does deliver. First time it's headed away by Alexander-Arnold from the penalty spot. Allowed to run by Roberto Firmino. Oxlade-Chamberlain was behind him. Dembele though has taken it off his toes. This is Eric Dyer. Back towards Dembele again. Now Eriksen shifts it into space. Dele Alli with a strike. Almost breaks back into the path of Son in the middle. Karius able to come just away to his left and gather up the loose ball in the end.
The pressure from Spurs is building in and around that Liverpool penalty area. They're being patient, but they're moving the ball very, very quickly. Liverpool unable to stop them getting into those sort of spaces. Ali, Eriksen all looking to try and influence things. Ali ended up getting the shot, which was well blocked.
That's much better, isn't it, from Spurs in this second half. Still the early damage inflicted by Mo Salah remains the difference. Yet to win in the Premier League this season, Tottenham, when conceding the first goal of just 6 sides. And that statistic applies to, they've drawn 4 of the 9 previous times that it's happened in the top flight this term. We have reached the midway point of the second half. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0 on Premier League Live. Ball is with Moussa Dembele for Spurs. Wide right is Kieran Trippier. Ball over the top is aimed for Son. Lovren there first, knocks it down only into the path of Dele Alli though. Ali then goes down inside the box and the free kick's gone Liverpool's way. Dele Alli is going to be booked for the dive.
Big call by John Moss, the referee there, and to be fair to Dele Alli, he just pats him on the back to the right. He did go down easily. For a moment he'd given a penalty. He seemed to go in between the centre half and the fullback here. Left fullback Robertson takes his touch, mixture of Lovren and Robertson, goes down very easily, and the referee, huge credit to the referee, because that was a big call. He recognises he's gone down, tried to win the penalty, there was no contact whatsoever. Free kick for Liverpool, not a penalty for Spurs.
So no doubt was he, John Moss, very quickly blowing the whistle and producing that yellow card from his pocket in the direction of Dele Alli. Not for the first time, accused of going down too easily in the box. Is there a case that in that instance you can go down and not actually be diving and looking for the penalty, he was just missed the ball?
I think on that occasion he was trying to kid the referee into winning a major decision, which would have been a penalty and an opportunity to equalise, and credit the referee for spotting that. We don't need VAR for that one.
Not for that one, no. Eagle eyes of John Moss getting the job done. We are a major talking point where Liverpool were concerned last week, wasn't it, in the FA Cup, which they exited here at Anfield against West Bromwich Albion. This is Sanchez on the halfway. Tottenham do still have FA Cup commitments to come this coming midweek, actually Wednesday night. They're back at Wembley against League 2 Newport, having rescued that replay late on last week. It's in by Ben Davies in the cross from the left towards both Kane and Dele Alli in the middle. Liverpool clear it, but it could come again. Eriksen with a touch. Davies forward looking for Son. Cut out by Alexander-Arnold, and there's space now for Salah on the counter-attack. This is the danger for Spurs as they chase the game. Mo Salah's still going. Dembele's going to him. He's got Vertonghen to try and get past as well. Doesn't have a lot by way of support, but he takes some stopping. Mo Salah stopped in the end by Vertonghen, who was strong as they went shoulder to shoulder, and the Spurs man clears his lines down the line on that left-hand side. But although they weren't getting to him very quickly in supporting red, Mo Salah was very much a man in the mood there.
Well, that's what he gives Liverpool, to relieve the pressure. Spurs been creating that pressure on the Liverpool defence, and he has the pace just to try and quickly counter-attack. Covered almost full length of the pitch, just turning defence into attack. Spurs having to defend Tottenham very well.
Well, there's a bold move from Mauricio Pochettino with 20 minutes to go, trailing by a goal to nil at Anfield. Takes off a defender in Davinson Sanchez in making his first substitution of the game, and brings on Eric Lamela into the attack. So you'd imagine Dyer would drop back now, and Lamela will get involved for Spurs further forward. But they've got defensive work to do. This is Milner just outside the penalty area for Liverpool. Oxlade-Chamberlain to Salah, whose shot was blocked really as soon as it left his left boot by Jan Vertonghen, and spins out of play for the throw.
Yeah, I think Dyer will go back and sit next to Vertonghen in defence with Sanchez going off, and it's a more attacking play, as you say. Lamela coming on, can he be the one to try and unlock this Liverpool defence, who've defended very well? There was a cross coming in from the left-hand side before. Van Dijk has almost been like a magnet clearing the ball.
It's Roberto Firmino taking the pass from Robertson, just overran it in the penalty area though, Firmino, when it threatened to open up for him and Liverpool. And Lloris can clear, left-footed to halfway. Van Dijk again beats Harry Kane in the air. Kane's had very little change out of the £75 million man. Record signing for a centre-back. Trippier goes back to Hugo Lloris under pressure. So too is Vertonghen from Salah inside his own penalty area. We've seen the possession statistics in the second half. Tottenham have had 70% of the ball, but Liverpool will care not if the score stays as it is, still leading by that goal to nil. Play very much now on the counter-attack, the home side. It is Tottenham that have to force the pace. And it's Liverpool who have the ball in the midfield. Emre Can to Gigi Wijnaldum. The Liverpool substitute. Eriksen is with him. Alexander-Arnold goes forward and goes long, and Roberto Firmino is offside. Flag goes up when it threatened to fall at the feet of the Brazilian. Lloris had come racing outside his penalty area anyway, and did just get there first, but his presence wasn't going to be required.
Well, he does that so well. The Spurs goalkeeper sweeps up. The Spurs like to play a high line defensively. There was Salah and Firmino looking to get him behind, and the linesman quite rightly put his flag up. It was in an offside position, but Lloris got there ahead of him anyway, because he sweeps up so well, doesn't he? He's quickly off his line to further danger.
Flying out into the Frenchman to make sure he got there first, wasn't going to take any chances with the flag. There's Dembele. He bounces a couple of paces forward into the Liverpool half. To his right is Dele Alli. Right on that left-hand side, Ben Davies, time to bring it down, assess his options. Thought about delivering from deep, instead he's played it infield to Christian Eriksen. Now Son Heung-min back towards Eriksen again. Here's Dyer, who has dropped deeper into defence, but it's not stopped him picking up possession inside the Liverpool half. So are all really in white, being forced to play right now in pursuit of parity and a potential point. Trippier chasing it, cleared by Robertson, only as far as that man Eric Dyer again. Seeing plenty of the ball just now. Infield to Christian Eriksen off the outside of the right boot, flicks it forward into the penalty area. And there were about 4 Tottenham shirts on the edge of the box. Goes straight through though to the man in green, Loris Karius in the Liverpool goal, but it keeps on coming back towards his goal. Lamela lets it run, Son with a touch, Dele Alli, edge of the penalty area, crowded out of it, Robertson got a foot in, And Emre Can is there to thump the clearance forward, asking Firmino to chase it. Dyer gets enough on it to guide it back to Hugo Lloris. The pattern has certainly been established in the closing stages.
Liverpool are giving the ball away very, very quickly, and that's allowing Tottenham possession of the ball and to keep this pressure on, which they are doing. They're getting in on that penalty area. But for that one big save from Son in this second half, they haven't really created a great deal, and that's credit to Liverpool, the way they have defended, and so far 74 minutes on the clock, done very well.
Touch from Lamela again, Dele Alli working it wide, Ben Davies in space, visited it really dangerously. It's down Robin on the near post, stretching to get enough on it to turn it over the top and behind. Liverpool really have their hands full here.
Great defending by Lovren on the near post. The ball's coming in, Son's just behind him. If Lovren misses that ball, Son has a free attempt at goal, whether it's a volley, whether it's a head. Great interception by Lovren.
6 Tottenham corner. Lovren benefiting maybe from the presence of Van Dijk alongside him. Lamela's going to take this one, curls it in left-footed. Karius comes not particularly convincingly out towards that far post as he rows with Harry Kane. Often the goalkeeper gets the benefit of the doubt in these sort of situations anyway. Kane's arm was raised, Karius goes down, free kick given.
Yeah. It's relatively...
I don't think you can argue with that one, really, even as a centre-forward.
Straightforward decision.
There's Alexander-Arnold. We're going into the closing quarter of an hour at Anfield on Premier League Live. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Emre Can, crossfield ball from right to left for Oxlade-Chamberlain's behind him though. Seemed to misjudge the flight of it a little bit. Oxlade-Chamberlain wasn't able to get a touch to it, goes out of play for the throw.
Struggled to get into the game so far. The substitutes for the Alderman and Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Ball by Dembele. Lamela, the Spurs substitute, has Dele Alli in space to his left, taking on Alexander-Arnold inside the area. Just delayed getting the cross shot away, breaks back to the feet of Dele Alli here. Salah snapping at his heels. Eriksen in towards Dembele, but it's taken off them by Mo Salah. Has Roberto Firmino in space to his right and threads the ball through, asking Firmino to chase it. The Brazilian will get there. Salah's made his way into the middle, still with Roberto Firmino. Vertonghen commits to the challenge, gets neither man nor ball. Liverpool still have it. Firmino then tries to pull it back towards Milner on the edge of the penalty area. Davis is in the way. Milner chases it down towards the far corner flag. Real battle going on between him and Vertonghen. The officials content to let that battle go, and Vertonghen brings the ball away.
He's been brilliant for Tottenham. I think he's been absolutely brilliant back there defensively. Tight legs on that counter-attack from Liverpool. Firmino looking for an option, couldn't find it.
Well, the fresh legs of Lamela at the other end, tried to float it into the penalty area. Van Dijk wasn't prepared to let it carry through for Karius and heads it clear. Firmino again has it at feet, albeit inside his own half. Dele Alli snaps into the challenge, or attempted to do so, but Emre Can moved the ball on quickly enough to avoid it. And now Oxlade-Chamberlain, Mo Salah again through the middle. Was the target for Oxlade-Chamberlain, too much on the pass through to Lloris.
The right pass, the weighted pass was all wrong from Oxlade-Chamberlain, too much on it. There was a little bit less, there may well have been an opportunity. Salah looking to get in behind Spurs defence.
We've seen plenty of late drama in the Premier League this season. Is there going to be another twist in the tail at Anfield? Nearly 77 minutes now on the clock. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Roberto Firmino batting for it again inside his own half. Helped out this time by the referee. Feeling the pace though is Firmino. He's down again, helped back to his feet by his teammate Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool are getting ready to make their final change and bring on another defender to try and hold what they have, perhaps. We'll see who Joel Matip is coming on for in a moment. Jurgen Klopp is busy barking out the orders, the instructions as this change is made. It looks like it's James Milner that is going to make way. He's the man that took over the captain's armband from Jordan Henderson. That's going to be passed on, I think, maybe to Matip. I mean, this is a Liverpool captaincy that has been held by 6 different players in 7 matches before today, and the armband now given by Matip to Emre Can, their 3rd captain of the afternoon.
Yeah, that has been a problem for Liverpool. Interesting to see that they're bringing James Milner up. I thought James has been having a really good game protecting. Liverpool may well go to a back 3 now with Matip, Lovren, Virgil van Dijk. They haven't played that a lot this season. Right. They don't have that understanding. The 3 of them, I think they defended superbly well, and a little bit surprised that he's changed the defensive unit.
There's Van Dijk again. Karius called into action outside of his area. Didn't just get there first and clears straight out of play for the throw-in. Tottenham respond with a change of their own. They're going to get Victor Wanyama into the action here. This might be more of a like-for-like change in the half of the midfield, because Moussa Dembele is the man making way. Wanyama only recently restored to fitness, of course, just the one start because of injury this season in the Premier League, but he's off the bench for the 7th time straight on the ball inside the centre circle.
Yeah. he will be less adventurous than somebody like Dembele coming forward.
There's Trippier, wide right for Spurs. Last dozen minutes at Anfield. Infield to Christian Eriksen. Pings it crossfield. Davis brings it down. Alexander-Arnold closing him down, as he has done all day really. Got there quickly. Blocks it behind for a corner kick. With the rain coming down, heavier than it has really at any point at Anfield all afternoon.
Had to come in first time by Ben Davis. He took that touch, which allowed the fullback to get over to him and make the challenge.
10 clean sheets for Liverpool so far this season. Another would do the trick today, but they're going to have to earn it the hard way. Eriksen's corner in towards Wanyama, looking to make his physical presence count in the penalty area, having just come on, but he couldn't really get anything on the end of that, and then falls back to the halfway line. Davis will slot it forward into the path of Son again down the left-hand side though, trying to turn away from Robertson. There's Son Heung-min for Spurs. Back infield to Victor Wanyama. And Wanyama actually picks a really good ball to Christian Eriksen. First time cross, punched clear by Karius off the head of Kane. Back towards Wanyama again. Oh, he's thundered it in from range. He's only just come on, and Victor Wanyama with a stunner might just have salvaged it for Spurs. They are level at Anfield. One swing of the right boot beat Karius, thudded into the back of the net and back out again, and Spurs celebrate. What a goal, 1-1.
That is an absolute wonder strike from Wanyama to get the equalising goal. It's only 30 yards out, the ball comes out to him, moves onto it first time, strikes, the ball's always rising, goes into the roof of the net. No goalkeeper can save that, and that's an equalising goal. You have to say that Spurs have deserved in this second half.
Incredible contribution from the substitute. What a master stroke for Mauricio Pochettino.
It's a substitution we spoke about him, perhaps not known for going forward with the ambition he has, but what a strike that is from Wanyama. An absolute screamer to get the equaliser.
Tottenham will argue maybe that they deserved it given the pressure that they've been applying, but clear-cut chances have been few and far between for them. You couldn't really argue that was a clear-cut chance, could you, when it fell at his feet, well outside of the penalty area, but it flashed beyond Karius before he knew what was happening.
What you can say is that importance of protecting the area outside the penalty area. 5 yards outside it's central, okay, it's maybe nearer 10 yards outside the area, but you have to protect that area centrally outside the area. That second ball, when the cross comes into space to get the shot.
So 1-1, we got 9 minutes to go. Liverpool are a little rattled now. Lovren's headed it straight out of play on that far side, under pressure from Son. Victor Wanyama, he had that serious knee injury which had sidelined him for much of the season. He missed 26 games in total. He scored for the first time since the last day of last season in that 7-1 win at Hull City. Here's Harry Kane. Can Spurs now go on and win this? Do they have the belief that they can get another goal which would actually take them above Liverpool in the table?
Well, they have the momentum. They have that equalising goal and the momentum that they've been building all second half. I've seen a replay of the goal. He runs off Oxlade-Chamberlain, falls fast asleep, allows Wanyama to run off the back of him. So you have to give him huge credit, because that's a stunning strike from Wanyama. But the momentum's there for Spurs to go on and win it now.
There's Dele Alli towards Ben Davis. Certainly have the bit between their teeth. Davis holds off the challenge of Alexander-Arnold. Dele Alli clips it from left to right for Kieran Trippier. First time touchdown into the path of Lamela. Almost broke for Christian Eriksen. It's cleared by Liverpool to halfway, and Eric Dyer, 7.5 minutes of the 90 to go at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 1. Spurs looking to become the first team to win at Anfield in the Premier League since Crystal Palace in April of last year. Unbeaten all season in front of their own supporters in this competition. 14 games and counting. Look for much of this match as if that record wasn't under any particular threat. It is now. It's Trippier down the line for the runner Son. Lovren going with it. Son forced towards the corner flag. Lovren helped out by Robertson. Between them they get the job done, just running out of play, and it goes for the goal kick.
It has been an impressive record for Liverpool at home in the Premier League. Done very well against rivals this season, beating Man City, drawing against Chelsea a little bit unfortunately, drawing against United, beating Arsenal at home as well, being unbeaten against the top sides, and it's important that they do so again today. We're inside the last 10 minutes or so, and it's Tottenham who are really pushing them hard for this outstanding home record.
9 more points taken by Liverpool in the fixtures between the top 6 rivals. So Jurgen Klopp took charge than any other side. Flag up here against Salah. He did slot it in again convincingly, but long after the whistle went. Might be fortunate if there's not punishment handed out by the referee. Tottenham don't want to hang around to find out anyway. Even more of the possession now. They've had about 80% of the ball over the last 10 minutes. They've made it pay with their equaliser. There's a slip from Lovren. Harry Kane is in. Karius comes racing off his line. Kane goes down under the challenge, and the referee's pointed to the spot. Well, incredible drama at Anfield. Tottenham might just turn it around after all. And again, the mistake of Liverpool's own making, giving it away on the edge of the box, and then Karius catching Kane, and major moments unfolding here in the Premier League season.
Well, will he go and speak to the linesman? Will he consult him and convince him? Because he's in an offside position, Harry Kane, but because it comes off Lovren, it's a terrible defensive error by Lovren. It comes off Lovren into the path of Harry Kane, but he was in an offside position. Falls through, he goes round the goalkeeper, he brings him down a little bit too easily. I wonder what's good. The referee's now talking to the linesman. I wonder if he's seen that offside position for Harry Kane. I really do.
Well, John Moss has come across to this near touchline to speak to Eddie Smart, the assistant. I think we can hear actually that this conversation, he was offside if Lovren hadn't touched the ball.
Yeah, but he's in an offside position and he has influenced the ball. Whether he's touched the ball or not, he is in an offside position. I think he's going to give a penalty with what the linesman said.
Yeah, he is.
But he's in an offside position. Whether Lovren touches the ball or not, he is in an offside position.
Well, it's been spelled out very clearly, isn't it, by Eddie Smart to John Moss. I'm not sure if our microphones are picking this up clearly for you. But the assistant has advised the referee to stick with that decision. It will be a penalty. Emre Can is continuing the protest here, but John Moss, after a lengthy dialogue, has pointed to that penalty spot. He's stuck with his original decision, and Harry Kane grabs hold of the ball. Who else but Harry Kane to put it on the penalty spot? With less than 5 minutes to go, Liverpool unbeaten at home in the Premier League all season. Are they about to fall behind here at Anfield? Harry Kane against Loris Karius, the man that brought him down for the penalty in the first place. Harry Kane goes for power. It's saved by Loris Karius, and Lamela can't force in the rebound either. Well, Liverpool might argue that justice was done, but it's a big save from the goalkeeper, and Kane's wait for a century of Premier League goals will go on. Tottenham's wait for a win at Anfield might go on after all. What drama!
Oh, incredible. When you want your goalkeeper to make a big save, he goes and makes a massive save. Harry Kane with the opportunity to put Spurs in front from their penalty spot, controversially awarded, it has to be said. What an important save. That may well prove to be by Karius.
Now here come Liverpool at the other end. They haven't given up hope of all 3 points themselves yet either. Remarkable conclusion to the contest. Lamela forward, looking for the run of Kane. It will just about reach Karius. Well, you wouldn't have wanted anybody else but Harry Kane on the penalty, would you, if you were Tottenham Hotspur? It's only the second they've had in the Premier League actually all season. He buried the first one, has seen this one saved, and now Liverpool advance through Robertson. Too much on the cross for Roberto Firmino, lurking with intent at the far post, and it sails out for the goal kick, and it goes from end to end.
There was a long delay before the penalty was taken, which may well have affected Harry Kane. It wasn't a great penalty. It was a poor penalty for someone like Harry Kane. He side foots it, and it's right down the middle. Karius stays big. He was going to his left-hand side. It was more left than centre, but it was a poor penalty for someone of Harry Kane's quality. You can't look at the replay of the penalty. He almost dives over Karius for the penalty anyway. I'm not sure there's too much contact there.
There's Son for Spurs. Kane scored from the spot against Burnley just before Christmas. It's the only penalty they mentioned until today that Tottenham have had in the Premier League. They scored a record equalling 11 last season from the spot. Kane hasn't been able to deliver today. Lovren heads it away. He'll be relieved after the error that almost let him in the first place.
Yeah, he will. I mean, Liverpool have been excellent defensively. So Lovren and Van Dijk together. I said about that back three unsettling it, and I think that substitution unsettled Liverpool defensively. Rotherham making that mistake, I don't think he would have made that if there was 2 there, not 3.
Not done yet either, although Matic, the man they brought on in part of that substitution, has won the ball well here and slipped it through for Mo Salah to take on Vertonghen down the Liverpool right. Salah still going, Vertonghen with the challenge, required Eric Dyer to come across and help him out and clear towards halfway where Kane goes down inside the centre circle under Van Dijk's challenge. Ericsson takes the free kick, but I think the ball was rolling when he did so. That's actually the point that the referee John Moss is making here as he pulls it back.
Oh, it's a big decision, wasn't it? Was he offside? Was he interfering with the ball? The ball's gone through to him, the penalty decision, which went in Spurs' favour. Now Rotherham did touch the ball, but he was in an offside position. Surely he's still influencing the ball, which was going directly to him.
It's a huge call. It was Eddie Smart, really, the assistant referee. We heard him almost clarifying that call because the flag wouldn't have gone up against Kane until he touched the ball. Yeah. He didn't touch the ball in that passage of play, did he? Because it came off long.
He tried to win the ball, so that's the argument.
We'll revisit it once the whistle has gone, because there could still be a conclusion here. It's Son, takes the ball from Ericsson into the penalty area, still with Son. Ericsson blocked again by Robertson. They're both claiming it came off the other as it careers behind. Liverpool are going to get the decision, I think, this time. We're into the last minute of the 90, and again, it's absolutely flown by.
Well, Liverpool have had criticism at times this season for how they performed defensively. I think this will be the start of the season for Liverpool where they've had the most blocks and interceptions in their own penalty area, because Spurs have time and time again got in those areas, whether it's been Robertson at one full-back, Trent Alexander-Arnold the other side, or the centre-halves. Between the four of them have been absolutely outstanding, stopping Spurs and protecting carries.
90 minutes are up. Here come Liverpool. The long ball in towards Salah, stopped by Lloris, who heads it away and out of play on the far side, the left of his penalty area. We're going to 4 added minutes. Martin Atkinson, the fourth official, has just produced the ball 4 minutes from here. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 1 on Premier League Live. What a game it's been. A story unfolding in the second half. If it stays like this, they'll stay exactly where they were beforehand. It's Mo Salah. This time it's Liverpool appealing for a penalty for a hand in there. Breaks back towards Salah again. Still going. Oh, he scored. He surely won it. Mo Salah in stoppage time. Liverpool lead again. 2-1 against Tottenham. And it's the magic of Mo Salah that has found a way through. In this battle of the Premier League's top scorers, Harry Kane denied a winner from the spot. Salah scores for the second time today, and Liverpool breathe a huge sigh of relief. They lead against Spurs by 2-1.
Oh, Mo Salah, that is absolutely brilliant from Salah. Individual brilliance from him. He tries to win a penalty initially, but the reactions of Mo Salah is why he scores this goal. He appeals for the penalty. All the Spurs players turn off, but he's still got 3 Spurs players to go around. Quick feet, he gets in that position. Lloris comes, dives at him with his feet. You're thinking he's going to make the save, but he doesn't. He's clever enough. The ability he has, Salah, to finish, dink it over the goalkeeper into the far post. And surely, what a game we've had here. That has to be the winner from Salah. Individual brilliance from him.
Just got to it first ahead of Hugo Lloris as he lifts it over the goalkeeper and wheels away in celebration. He has done it yet again. 21 goals and counting now this season for him in the Premier League, 28 in all competitions. Remarkable celebrations. You'd expect nothing less from Jurgen Klopp on the touchline as that one went in. But we are not done yet. We've got 2 minutes on the 4 added on still to play. And Tottenham in possession inside the Liverpool half. Dele Alli forward, little flick in there towards Lamela, trying to ride the challenge on the edge of the box. No free kick forthcoming, but the clearance only reaches Vertonghen. Here's Victor Wanyama. That wonderful goal that he scored seems a long time ago now. Awful lot has happened since then. Down the line by Kieran Trippier towards Christian Eriksen. Tottenham making a change in the immediate aftermath of the goal being conceded. Fernando Llorente has been thrown on for the closing moments here.
This is how close this game has been. Harry Kane scores the penalty, 87th minute, 2-1. Very difficult to see anything other than a Spurs win. A few moments later, Liverpool go down the other end. Barely had an attack this second half, Liverpool, and Salah's brilliance looks like it's won it for Liverpool.
There's the long throw from Trippier in towards Llorente. Lamella's in there as well. Lamella goes down, and again they appeal for a penalty, waved away emphatically this time by John Moss, but the flag is up, and it is that man Eddie Smart again who I think has drawn the referee's attention to this. Moss had let it go, but Tottenham are going to have another penalty on the instruction of the assistant referee. Well, this is bordering now on the barely believable, the late drama we're getting at Anfield. Liverpool protests continue. Dan Lovren and Roberto Firmino asking the assistant just why, because John Moss had let it go, he'd wave play on very definitively. Now they're asking for the referee to again speak to his assistant. He rightly shepherds away the Liverpool players before having this conversation. Harry Kane's gone to grab the ball again, and we'll have another penalty, it seems, in a moment.
Well, not popular, this linesman. Van Dijk goes to clear the ball. Lamella gets there ahead of him. Van Dijk doesn't see him, kicks his calf. He goes down, makes the most of it, Lamella, but you have to say he catches Lamella. It's a very, very soft decision. The linesman gave it, the referee said no. The referee saw it and said no. The linesman flagged it. He's not in a position to make that decision for the referee. The referee sees it, he's the referee. The linesman can't overrule the referee. The linesman has overruled the referee. I've never seen anything like it.
And it's the same linesman that basically told him to give the first one as well. So Harry Kane will get a second chance, this time to try and rescue a point for Tottenham. Kane against Karius, part 2. Deep into stoppage time. Kane scores this time, and Tottenham will leave Anfield with a point after all. A century of goals for Harry Kane in the Premier League, and this one rescues a precious point in a game that ends in barely believable circumstances. Emphatic penalty this time from Kane, right into the corner. He wasn't going to be denied a second time. It's 2-2.
He made no mistake second time round. Harry Kane kept his composure, nice and calm. Karius goes to his right. Harry Kane went to his right, the wrong way for the goalkeeper, and Harry Kane can celebrate. The disappointment of missing a penalty a few moments ago. The joy for Harry Kane and Tottenham when the game looked lost, dead and buried for them. Not that point.
Well, Kane converting from the spot in the 5th minute of time added on. It was just 4 initially added, but because of the late drama we've had in stoppage time, on we go until now, when that final whistle sounds. Kane's kick was almost the last kick of the game to rescue that point from the penalty spot in a remarkable encounter here. Boos at Anfield, with the home fans unsatisfied at the unsavoury nature in their perspective of how it finished. They thought that Salah's double in stoppage time had surely won it for them, but Kane denied once from the spot, scores in a second time of asking to beat Karius into the corner, and this has finished somehow on as even. Liverpool 2, Tottenham 2. Kane against Karius, part 2. Deep into stoppage time. Kane scores this time, and Tottenham will leave Anfield with a point after all. A century of goals for Harry Kane in the Premier League, and this one rescues a precious point in a game that ends in barely believable circumstances. Emphatic penalty this time from Kane, right into the corner. He wasn't going to be denied a second time. It's 2-2. Wow. Neil Mellor, where do we start with that one?